On January 24, 2026, Zhang Youxia, the vice chairman of the Central Military Commission, and Liu Zhenli, a CMC member, were suddenly announced to have fallen from power. Several versions of the insider details have emerged. Du Wen, former Chinese official from Inner Mongolia, earlier revealed that Zhang Youxia and Liu Zhenli had been planning a coup against Xi Jinping, but the plot was foiled due to a leak. Other reports suggest that the core issue behind the conflict between Xi and Zhang is related to the hereditary power transfer issue at the highest levels. Zhang Youxia, born in 1950, and Xi Jinping, born in 1953, both hail from the same province, Shaanxi. Zhang Youxia's father, Zhang Zhongxun, was a founding general of the Chinese Communist Party and held the position of Minister of Logistics in the CMC. Zhang Zhongxun and Xi Jinping's father, Xi Zhongxun, were close comrades before the establishment of the CCP. After Xi Jinping took power, Zhang Youxia was seen as one of the military's princeling party members who supported Xi's leadership. Following the 20th Party Congress, Zhang Youxia, who had already surpassed the retirement age, remained as the vice chairman of the CMC, which was believed to be a move to help Xi consolidate his power. However, Zhang Youxia's sudden arrest shattered this illusion. Canadian writer and pro-democracy activist Zhang Youxia revealed on January 27 that Xi Jinping's relationship with the military has always lacked mutual trust. His authority largely relies on purges and fee, with limited recognition of his personal ability and legitimacy within the military. Many military personnel discuss Xi's lack of military experience and capability in private settings. Xi's continuous purges over the years have only intensified the sense of insecurity. The downfall of Zhang Youxia and Liu Zhenli, two major military figures, marks an explosive eruption of mutual distrust between Xi and the military. This is approaching the characteristics of the later stages of extreme personal rule in history. According to Zhang Youxia, the real root cause of the conflict lies in the hereditary succession issue. It is rumored that Xi has an illegitimate son, currently being trained in Ningxia, Hui Autonomous Region. There is a significant resistance to Xi's plan within the military system. Zhang Youxia, a powerful figure from the second generation of red elites, is seen as one of the greatest obstacles to Xi's plan. Sources believe that the nature of the current conflict is not a factional struggle, but whether to allow hereditary power succession. It is well known that Xi and his current wife, Peng Liyuan, have only one daughter. However, in the opaque world of Chinese officialdom, the true situation may be more complex. Du Wen, the former official from Inner Mongolia, previously revealed that Wang Lixia, the former chairman of the Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region, who was arrested last year, was Xi's secret lover. Wang has always been accused of being a shared lover of Zhao Leji, the current chairman of the National People's Congress, and Shi Taifeng, the minister of the organization department. Although these rumors are still difficult to verify, such situations are common within the CCP. For example, it has been confirmed that Wang Fei, the mistress of Zheng Xiaodong, a former senior official of the Ministry of Public Security, had affairs with over 40 high-ranking officials, including several figures from Zhongnanhai, China's central government compound. Another well-known public mistress is military singer Tang Tan, who had relationships with over 10 high-ranking officials, including former Vice President of the General Logistics Department, Gu Junshan, former Secretary of the Political and Legal Affairs Committee, Zhou Yongkang, former CCP Chongqing Secretary Bo Xilai, and former Vice Chairman of the Central Military Commission, Xu Caihou. In addition, Xi has a nephew, Xi Minzheng, who is the son of Xi's younger brother, Xi Jinping, and his ex-wife. Xi Minzheng is often considered a potential successor to Xi. He goes by the name Xi Minzheng because he follows his grandmother's surname. Xi Minzheng holds Hong Kong residency and graduated from Georgetown University in the United States. Early on, there were reports that he later took a position at Tsinghua University in China. In July 2019, Chinese media reported that Dr. Xi Minzheng, leader of the grassroots practice team at Tsinghua University's Yibin training program, visited the Lingang Economic Development Zone to investigate fire safety work, accompanied by Yang Jian, director of the party and government office. In April 2022, documents from Chengde County, Hebei Province, showed that Xi Minzheng was appointed as an honorary deputy director of the country's Agriculture and Rural Affairs Bureau. In March 2023, reports emerged that Xi Minzheng had completed his grassroots training. His current position is unclear to the public. Xi Jinping will turn 73 this year. In recent years, there have been occasional reports about his health issues. While it is believed that he will not easily step down, either voluntarily or involuntarily, discussions about his potential successor continue. Whenever a post-70s official receives a promotion to provincial or ministerial levels, there is often speculation about Xi's successor. However, Xi has disrupted the CCP's cadre system that had been in place since the Deng Xiaoping era. After removing term limits, Xi has not, as per CCP tradition, prepared a successor following the 20th Party Congress, creating uncertainty for the future. The first issue is Xi's health. In recent years, during his overseas trip, Xi has been seen walking unsteadily, and there were various reports regarding his health problems. If Xi suddenly collapses and becomes incapacitated in the next 2 or 3 years, it will surely trigger intense infighting. Regarding Xi's successor, there have been rumors that Xi is reluctant to hand over power to anyone else, and that the CCP's highest leadership may return to a hereditary system. For example, there are rumors that he wants to groom his son-in-law as his successor, essentially turning him into an imperial-in-law. However, it is unclear who Xi's son-in-law is. Even Xi's daughter, Xi Mingze, remains mysterious. Independent commentator Du Zheng wrote that if Xi wants to implement a hereditary system, his daughter, son-in-law, or even Xi's nephew would need to be at least at the deputy ministerial level to be suitable. So, for now, this is merely gossip. If Xi wants to ensure that his family members take over power, it would be more feasible to hand it over to his wife. Peng Liyuan is a political officer with the rank of a senior military officer in the CCP, equivalent to a ministerial level position. However, in recent years, state media has reported that she enjoys at least the privileges of a vice national leader. Throughout Chinese history, there have been many instances where the imperial court's power was controlled by in-laws, and regencies by empress dowagers were not uncommon. It is not impossible for Peng Liyuan to take power after Xi. If she does, the primary danger will come from Xi's faction within the military, including Zhang Youxia's military influence. Apart from the hereditary succession issue, there are multiple analyses and leaks regarding the conflict between Zhang and Xi. Before Zhang Youxia was officially removed, independent commentator Cai Shen-kun, who had earlier leaked information, said that Zhang's retention after the 20th Party Congress was a product of high-level power compromises. According to his analysis, after the 20th Congress, Xi accelerated purging the military, with a clear focus on targeting Defense Minister Li Shangfu and rocket force generals, who had been promoted by Zhang. Zhang, using counter-surveillance methods, gains knowledge of the economic and even personal issues of Xi's generals, including Vice Chairman of the CMC He Weidong and CMC member Miao Hua, and used this to challenge Xi. This mutual blackmail internal struggle made the conflict between the two sides public. As the 21st Congress approaches, to ensure absolute control and prevent Zhang from taking charge in the next round of personnel changes, Xi ultimately decided to eliminate this military faction. Cai Shen-kun, citing sources, said that about a month before the official announcement of Zhang Youxia's downfall, he had a direct confrontation with Xi. At that time, Zhang questioned Xi bluntly, saying, "We can't figure out where you are taking this country. After all these years, the military has been severely weakened. The morale of the troops has been shattered. Are you not ashamed?" It is said that Zhang directly pointed out that under Xi's leadership, the military's image had been severely damaged, soldiers were not respected by society, and they had lost their basic dignity. This was unprecedented self-destruction since the founding of the CCP. In the end of the argument, Zhang issued a harsh ultimatum. "If you don't leave today, can that be considered a coup?" Cai stated that this shows the relationship between Zhang and Xi had completely broken down. It's now a matter of who can seize control, which makes it easier to understand why Xi was in such a hurry to take down Zhang. US-based Chinese pro-democracy activist Tang Boiqiao also cited sources from Beijing, revealing that Zhang and Xi had been in open and covert struggle for over 3 years since the CCP's 20th National Congress, with the dispute rooted in differences in values. Tang said that during Xi's third term, military power was essentially handed to Zhang Youxia. Zhang, as the top-ranking vice chairman of the CMC, was the highest-ranking military leader. The competition between these two was completely different from Xi's past purges of other generals, because Zhang was a real power player in the military. He was the only person in China who could directly challenge Xi. Cai added that his sources from Beijing said after Zhang Youxia was reappointed as vice chairman of the CMC, he and Xi started to have conflicts in 2023, engaging in an open and covert struggle for about 3 years. Many people have said Zhang was attempting a coup, but it wasn't a coup. They were fighting openly. Zhang was the only one bold enough to challenge Xi, and many who were dissatisfied with Xi had to channel their frustrations through Zhang. Tang emphasized that Zhang certainly did not want to be general secretary. The struggle between him and Xi was due to ideological differences. Zhang initially thought Xi's constitutional amendments in 2018, which enabled lifelong rule, made sense, but later believed that Xi should not remain in power indefinitely. On the issue of Taiwan, many outside observers have misinterpreted Zhang as a hardliner advocating for military action against Taiwan. Tang clarified that this is a mistaken interpretation. In fact, Zhang was strongly opposed to Xi's plan to attack Taiwan, whereas Xi was eager to do so. This was one of the ideological disputes between them. On January 26, the Jamestown Foundation published an article analyzing Xi's demand that the military must be capable of attacking Taiwan by 2027. The training plans and execution formulated by Zhang Youxia and Liu Zhenli do not meet Xi's requirements. Zhang believes that an attack on Taiwan in 2027 is unrealistic and that 2035 might be more feasible. The article states that the early friction between the two reflected differences in planning and rhetoric, but as these differences evolved into specific disputes over execution, they seem to have turned into an open, possibly irreversible, defiance of Xi's directives. Commentator Tang Hao believes that on the surface, it is clear that Xi and Zhang have long had many ideological disagreements and conflicts. For example, Xi has always been eager to send troops to attack Taiwan, but Zhang, a true professional soldier with 2 combat experiences, understands that the current Chinese military combat readiness is insufficient. He repeatedly advised against rushing into military action, warning that the CCP would not be able to withstand a joint counterattack from the US, Japan, and Taiwan. This has displeased Xi. Tang estimates that Xi's contempt for military personnel and his numerous erroneous policies over the years, which have weakened China's economy and isolated it internationally, have also made Zhang dissatisfied. A weak economy and diplomatic isolation often drive dictators to start wars to divert attention from domestic political pressure. Zhang clearly understands that this amounts to sacrificing soldiers' lives to defend one person's power, not to protect the country. He views it as a meaningless sacrifice and degradation of the military. These deeper reasons have sparked the internal struggle between Xi and Zhang. This is why Zhang, in alliance with veteran officials, initiated a soft coup to seize military power from Xi. Drew Thompson, who once served as the U.S. Department of Defense official responsible for China, Taiwan, and Mongolia affairs, hosted Zhang Youxia during his visit to the U.S. in May 2012, when Zhang was accompanying the Chinese Defense Minister Liang Guanglian. On January 26, Thompson published an article stating that Zhang's downfall surprised and even shocked him. He had initially believed that, in this large-scale military purge, Zhang's combat experience, confidence, wisdom, long-term dedication to China and the CCP's defense affairs, as well as his personal relationship with the top leader, would serve as his insurance. Thompson said that during Zhang's one-week visit to the US, he had more communication with him than with any other general in the Chinese delegation. Thompson remarked, "He wasn't afraid to talk to foreigners. I was impressed that he would engage me in conversation because it was unusual." Thompson specifically mentioned an example during Zhang's visit to Fort Benning, where there were static displays of weapon systems and opportunities to test firearms. Many Chinese military officers are primarily engaged in administrative and political work. Many had never fired a gun, even hesitating at the shooting range. However, Zhang eagerly accepted the opportunity to fire a machine gun and asked insightful questions about American technology and military doctrine. In the article, Thompson expressed his admiration for Zhang Youxia and also shared several photos of Zhang taken at Fort Benning in Georgia, including one of him test-firing a machine gun. Thompson stated that Zhang is the only active duty general in the CCP who can offer the most objective advice to Xi on the military capabilities of the Chinese military. He is also able to objectively assess the military capabilities of the US and Taiwan and explain to Xi the military risks and costs of taking Taiwan, while a sycophant without combat experience can only tell Xi what he wants to hear. Thompson believes that without Zhang in the CMC, the risk of misjudgment within the CCP military will increase. Currently, there are various rumors about the events leading to Zhang's downfall, ranging from leaking nuclear secrets to planning a coup and factional struggles. Some even claim there was a gunfight in Beijing. Due to the lack of transparency in China's political system, it is difficult for outsiders to determine Xi Jinping's exact motives for removing Zhang Youxia and others. However, most observers believe the reason is more likely related to power struggle, with Xi using the anti-corruption campaign to remove potential political rivals or those who are insufficiently loyal. According to a BBC report, Lyle Morris, a senior fellow at the Asia Society Policy Institute, said that the Central Military Commission now only consists of Xi Jinping and Vice Chairman Zhang Shengming, a situation unprecedented in history. The CCP military is falling into chaos with a huge leadership vacuum. The military will face significant turmoil in the coming years, which will affect Xi Jinping and his leadership team. Tang Baichao said that when CCP elders like Deng Xiaoping and Ye Jianying removed the Gang of Four led by Mao Zedong's wife Jiang Qing, Deng Xiaoping became the top leader of the CCP, while Ye Jianying became the second-ranking figure in the party. However, Ye later fell out with Deng Xiaoping, yet even Deng did not dare to move against Ye. Now Xi Jinping has moved against Zhang Youxia, which is a grave mistake. He said the military could revolt at any time. Throughout Chinese history, there have been many brave individuals. General Xu Jinping, who defied orders during the 1989 Tiananmen Square crackdown, was one such person. He had courage, and so did former General Secretary Zhao Ziyang, who refused to suppress the protesters. From what I understand, many within the military are unhappy with Xi Jinping's decision to arrest Zhang Youxia. An ex-serviceman revealed that after Zhang Youxia's arrest, the military was in disarray. Many senior officials were shocked that such an experienced general could be suddenly removed, triggering widespread panic. To avoid getting caught in the fallout, many officers submitted their resignations or requests for transfer, leaving the organization departments overwhelmed. More seriously, Xi Jinping has demanded the commanders of each group army publicly show their support, but the commanders have largely remained silent. The whistleblower explained that the military values seniority and loyalty, and Zhang Youxia had a high reputation within the army, so no one was willing to be the first to flip and support Xi Jinping. Commentator Tai Shen-kun stated that the swift arrest of Zhang Youxia carries significant political symbolism. It is not only a powerful blow to the military power of the Red Princelings, but also a strong deterrent to the CCP's elder faction. This is a showdown action, marking Xi Jinping's public break with the traditional military forces. However, Xi's confrontation with the Princelings and the military's second generation has cleared out the party's traditional political base and has left him isolated. Commentator Tang Hao noted that regardless of the underlying causes of the Xi-Zhang conflict, it is certain that today's China is at a historical turning point. The CCP is likely to face internal division at any moment, possibly even leading to a warlord-led civil war. If coups, military uprisings, and civil unrest continue to rise, the CCP could be swept into a fatal perfect storm. Commentator Ye Shan believes that in recent years, the CCP has repeatedly fallen into chaos. With the economy in crisis and increasing calls for the destruction of the CCP from both domestic and foreign sources, having committed many wrongdoings, the CCP regime is now on the brink of collapse, with the public suffering under Xi's rule. It seems that the CCP may not last another decade and could fall without any need for a push.